Good evening. It is now 5:35 p.m. and the regular City Council meeting for the City of Compton for October the 14th, 2025 is now in order. Would you please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance? Oh.
You want me to do roll call? We'll do it.
Place your right hand over your heart. Again. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with power and justice for all. Madam City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Duhart?
Here.
Councilmember Spicer? Here. Councilmember Bowers?
Here.
Councilmember Darden?
Here.
And Mayor Sharif?
Here.
Madam Mayor, we now move to presentations. Number 1 is overtime study findings. City Controller.
Madam Mayor and Council, as you know from the state audit back in 2022, the state auditor required a development of a policy to determine the amount of fire department overtime that we budget each year and to perform an analysis that compare the cost of overtime to the cost of additional firefighters to reduce the need for overtime. Today we have with us Matrix Consulting Group, who's going to provide a presentation to you. This was done in coordination with the City Manager's Office, the Fire Department, as well as the Controller's Office. And this presentation is only, the presentation only, and the staff will seek your council directions on the recommendation for a path forward. With that, I present Matrix Consulting. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. I'm Robert Finn, Vice President with Matrix Consulting Group. I was the project manager and lead analyst on this project to look at the overtime related to the fire department. So just real quick, we'll talk a little bit about the project approach. What some key findings from the analysis were the strengths of the current systems in place, and then improvement opportunities to help control overtime costs and potentially reduce them in the future. So the initial project started with a current state evaluation, and that was to have a factual understanding of the as-is, how the fire department is staff deployed, and understand their minimum staffing requirements, what the scheduled staffing looks like, and their deployment plan for providing services to the city. After that, we did an analysis of payroll and the patterns, and then looked at the salaries and benefits, reviewed those and how they compared with peer communities to Compton, and then looked at what was driving the overtime causes, and then developed the draft and final report, which was reviewed with the Comptroller's Office and then brought forward here tonight. So in terms of the project findings, there are several opportunities to implement improved management practices in the fire department related to overtime, and a lot of those have to do with how they work with the Comptroller's Office, as well as having adequate staffing to ensure relief factors to minimize forced overtime based on falling below what minimum staffing requirements are. The current memorandum of understanding between the city and the Firefighters Association allows excessive work hours. You can basically be forced to work overtime up to 150 hours before you're able to decline it. So having those 150 work hours in a row is excessive when you look at what most fire departments allow before mandating a break from being at work. It's important to note that the shift schedule includes Fair Labor Standard Act mandated overtime. So So there's 6 hours of overtime built into the schedule for every 14-day pay period, just to meet the FLSA minimum. So the way the fire shift works, there's mandated FLSA overtime. And that's not accounted for separately currently. So there's one thing that we looked at doing. So you could have FLSA mandated overtime versus breaking out that versus minimum staffing overtime coverage versus when you're doing emergency call-outs like the LA fire where overtime is then reimbursed through the state because of a declared emergency deployment. So making sure that you're able to account for and separate those is important moving forward, to help show what's driving the different overtime costs. They do have provisions in the memorandum of understanding to help control those FLSA costs. Overtime's only paid for actual hours worked. So if somebody did not physically work hours, then the FLSA overtime is not paid. So that's a best practice that you guys have implemented and helps control those FLSA mandated overtime costs. When you look at peer communities, you have a higher overtime percentage for personnel costs than peer communities. So when we looked at the peer communities, your personnel costs were just under 60% of the total operating budget for the fire department. The peer communities range from 77.4% to 88%. So you can see because the fire world is a personnel-driven cost center, having dedicated funding for more personnel helps reduce the amount of mandated overtime because you have set minimum staffing levels that have to occur. And if you don't have enough personnel on the payroll to have extra positions available to float between stations and staff apparatus that fall below minimum, then overtime is required to be called in. So your overtime percentage compared to personnel was 23.3%. Your peers range 9.3% to 21.3%. So again, because of your lower investment in personnel, that drives your percentage of overtime costs to be higher because you're going to have to fill vacancies and planned and unplanned leave events with overtime. The fire department has implemented a hazard mitigation plan in 2023, and then based on this plan, they have updated the emergency operations plan, and that's scheduled for presentation to the council later this fall. So what that does is it makes sure that the way they're deploying their resources aligns with the community risk and then meets the community-based performance expectations of the organization. So once that's adopted, then you're able to balance that what is the risks, fire and non-fire risks in the community that they're responding to, and their deployment plan, both with their resources as well as with automatic aid and mutual aid partners that you have to assist in the larger scale emergencies to make sure that they're able to effectively mitigate emergencies when they occur. When you look at the historical budgeted versus overtime expenditures, the fire department has historically exceeded the overtime funds, and a lot of that is due to that, again, because the FLSA mandated overtime is not pre-built into the budget, and then the planned overtime based on minimum staffing needs, deployments, and other things built on top of that. You're gonna have a situation where the fire department will exceed the overtime budget, and it's not because of a lack of management controls, supervisor approvals needed, and the best practices that the fire department has implemented. It's just because you're not budgeting based on the reality of what overtime expenses are going to be. So the real decision is, do you hire more people to reduce the impact of forced overtime because of planned and unplanned leave, or do you increase the overtime budget based on the reality of knowing you're going to have this amount of overtime occurring? So it's really an either or. Some communities, if your benefit rates exceed 50% of personnel costs, they make the decision to pay more overtime because it's cheaper than hiring the full-time people and paying the benefit costs. But as you'll see in the report, there's a balance there for the work-life balance. So when you see over a 3-year period, a firefighter making close to $400,000 in overtime, that person's not having a good, fair work-life balance. So your top overtime earners over the 4 years we looked at, or the 3 years we looked at, were 400,000 down to about over 100,000, and then it fell off pretty quick to where people weren't taking advantage of as much overtime. So your top overtime earners are being either volunteering or being forced to work a considerable number of hours. And then again, your current relief factor doesn't support the required minimum staffing. So when we looked at 3 years of historical leave and what was occurring in the agency, you were basically 4 personnel short per shift, and that's before the vacancies that you were carrying. So if you had 3 vacancies or 6 vacancies in the fire department, you're already down 2 per shift, and then you were still needing another 4 per shift to bring that overtime down to what would manage the mandated overtime in terms of meeting minimum staffing based on the current leave usage in the department. So that's vacation, sick time, military call-outs, workman's compensation, basic turnover in the organization. So when you bring all those factors in, that's where you're short personnel to achieve minimum staffing. So the current strengths in the organization, there's a clear policy that details minimum staffing and overtime assignments and how those occurs. The fire department has implemented a process to ensure that overtime's equally available. The difficulty is some people will turn down overtime when it's their turn up and they get passed, and then you have the personnel that volunteer considerably for overtime, and those become your higher overtime earners. So again, reducing the number of hours that they're allowed to work in a row will help control that, or reducing the number of hours that they can work overtime in a single pay period will help reduce that and equalize more of the overtime across the organization. Initially, you try to fill overtime rank for rank. So this would mean if a captain calls off, the first person to try to fill that is somebody at the same rank of captain. And then if there are no captains available, then qualified personnel that meet the criteria to serve in the officer capacity are allowed to step up, work out of class, and work the overtime for those positions. All overtime is required to be approved by supervisors in advance of working the overtime, so that is also a best practice that you guys are following. The budgeted overtime is at the program level, which is important to be able to understand where overtime costs are occurring throughout the department. It is documented by pay period, and again, the non-work hours are excluded from FLSA, which is a best practice. So some improvement opportunities. When we reviewed training documents, we didn't see where any specific training on overtime policies was being offered. Typically what you see in departments, fire departments, they're focused on the medical training for EMS personnel, focused on the perishable skill training for those high risk, low frequency events. But it's also important to make sure that from time to time, you're going through those administrative policies so personnel understand the impacts of overtime and the policies in place to control it. There's currently no disciplinary provision in the overtime policy. So while they have a requirement for supervisors to approve overtime, there's no provision for what happens if you don't get supervisory approval prior to working overtime. So just clearing up the policy and putting that verbiage in place so people understand that there are consequences to working the overtime without supervisory approval. Looking for opportunities for temporary, part-time, or seasonal workers. Currently, the fire department doesn't have any seasonal workers. Other agencies have found it beneficial, especially during the fire season, to bring in those seasonal fire workers, and they're the first ones to go on deployment. And because they're a lower cost employee without full-time city benefits, the impact for the overtime line item is less for those deployments, or they can backfill the shifts while regular shift personnel are on the deployments to reduce the amount of time that the personnel are having to be called in when apparatus are deployed. We also recommended that during the next meet and confer that you work with the association to try to bring down that number of allowable work hours from 150. Most organizations, 72, so you guys are on what's known as a 48, 96 platoon schedule, so they're scheduled 48 hours in a row and then scheduled to be off 96 while the other two shifts work those 48s. Typically, you'll see where you can work 72 hours, so 3 shifts in a row before you have to take a 24-hour break, and then that would let them, again, work 1 or 2 shifts prior to their next 48 schedule, so either a 72 or a 96-hour allowable, but making sure that there is at least 1 break in shifts between those work periods would be beneficial to the organization. Again, recommendation to limit the number of overtime hours allowed to be worked in a pay period during the next meet and confer session. That's just to give them, make sure there's a good work-life balance and nobody's working basically the way it is now. You could almost work the entire pay period without leaving shift and without a forced break. So reducing that down to make sure there's a good work-life balance for the employees would be beneficial. Having the fire department collaborate with the comptroller's office to enhance the tracking over overtime occurrences. So the fire department has more detailed records than the controller's office in terms of what's causing the overtime. So making sure that the controller's office gets those codes and internally you're really able to see what's driving it. Is it a community event? Is it a deployment? Is it because of minimum staffing requirements? Is it just because, like in the fire marshal's office, because of inspections that had to occur after hours at a certain building? So really drilling down and getting those different overtime causes at the controller's office level, so that then can be tracked and reported, so you guys clearly understand what those overtime drivers are and who the top overtime earners are. And then also working with the controller's office to build in a system to make sure that reimbursable overtime is charged separately on the books from overtime for minimum staffing and the other city events and FLSA mandated overtime, so that it doesn't, like when you had an event like the LA fires last year, that it doesn't look like the fire department was abusing overtime, when most of that will be reimbursed at some point once all that settles, but making sure that's shown clear and separate from the other overtime, because that's not an overtime factor that is controllable by the fire department when those deployments occur, and the city does get reimbursed for the costs associated with that. Again, developing that reporting system from the comptroller's office to highlight the overtime drivers, so that you guys have a clear understanding of what the causes are and who the top earners are, so you can see that the systems you're putting in place are working to help balance that overtime throughout the organization. Also looking at positions. Most organizations, it's a best practice that every 3 to 5 years, you just do a position review with HR to see if something has happened to trigger a position to no longer meet the required FSA overtime. So if a position has reached a certain management threshold to where they're not required to be paid overtime, so they can be a salaried position and transfer from a basically 40-hour work position to a salaried position and no longer be required to earn overtime. It's just a best practice to look at to make sure you're not paying overtime to positions that, from a legal FLSA perspective, are not entitled to it. And then working with the council working with the city and the fire department to figure out what the right amount of overtime, non-FLSA. So the city finance department will easily be able to develop what the FLSA mandated overtime payments are based on the shift work hours for personnel, separating those out, and then determining through a look back at what the historical minimum staffing deployments and other overtime drivers were, and breaking those out and adequately budgeting overtime as you move forward would be important to then make sure the fire department is not only able to manage the overtime, but has the right amount of overtime budgeted to be able to support their mission. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for your presentation. Are there any questions from the council?
In your analysis, did you factor in any health issues, be it short-term or long-term, from working so many hours?
So we have a detailed section in there about what those impacts are to personnel when you exceed certain work hours. Obviously, the fire business is inherently dangerous, so you, from a risk management perspective, you don't want them fatigued. You don't want them continually exposed to the hostile work environments that they're exposed to. So anytime you're able to reduce that, the fire department has implemented the best practices from the cancer initiatives to try to reduce those impacts. But you know, there's no way to control the shift where you have calls that keep you awake for 22 hours compared to, you know, a lighter call day where you're able to sleep through the night. So just ensuring that they have those rest periods in more frequent timeframes would help with the overall work-life balance and ensure your workforce is rested. But there is sections that talk about the impacts of excessive overtime and the health impacts, yes.
So you also stated that, you know, do you pay the overtime or do you hire and pay benefits and what have you? But if a firefighter makes a mistake that gets the city sued because he's fatigued, that's going to cost us too.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And it could be huge. The other thing is, I'm very well aware that Compton Fire Department is one of the busiest departments in the United States, and they're averaging 11,000 plus calls. It's pretty clear that we need staffing right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying that to our city, HR, the fire chief. Some people like to work overtime, perhaps, but there should be a cutoff somewhere. People are here for several days. And I'm saying it from experience. I've worked multiple days at fire station, and it takes a toll on you. It damages your health. And firefighters are notorious to develop cancer and heart problems. Getting up and down at night, all night, is not normal. And it takes a toll on your body, which in turn, it costs the city anyway. You don't check it. So my concern is hiring of staff ASAP.
Thank you, Councilman Bowers. Are there any other questions from the council? No? Okay, thank you. Well, again, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Shoot. Madam City Clerk?
Madam Mayor, we move to public comments on agenda items and non-agenda matters. And I would like to start off with making note that we did receive written comment from Mr. Sky Fisher, and I would like to read that letter, please. Honorable Mayor and City Council, I implore the council to put measures in place to further regulate accessory dwelling units, ADUs. Our neighborhood infrastructure is becoming significantly strained. The City of Compton currently does not require ADUs to have designated parking on site. This oversight further impacts the street parking available to single-family homeowners, intensifying an already tense block-by-block issue. Ask yourself how someone who is renting a one-bedroom ADU in your neighbor's backyard has 5 cars parked on the street. Furthermore, our streets are being cut up right after they have been freshly paved by those building ADUs who need to run sewer lines. This work leaves behind large square patches that will inevitably become potholes before any other place on the street. Can the city require developers repave the entire width of the street from sidewalk to sidewalk when this type of excavation is necessary? Also, where are our traffic officers and how many do we currently have in the city of Compton? Vehicles are running through red lights and stop signs near schools, and they are turning our neighborhood streets into speed bumps, or turning our neighborhood streets without speed bumps into freeways. Semi-trucks are driving throughout the city, and not one is being stopped and cited by the Sheriff's Department or even code enforcement. At around $2,000 per violation, we can use those citation funds to maintain the very streets these vehicles are damaging. Lastly, the corner of Rosecrans Avenue and S. Thornton Avenue at the front of the Edgemont community on the city side of the street, 2201 East Rosecrans Avenue. Street vendors are operating from Friday night through Sunday night. The corner itself is completely dark except for passing vehicles' lights. The vendors' customers double park and park on the curb, and the obstruction is so severe that oncoming traffic is not visible until it is too late. I ask that the city work to either find a safer location for the street vendors or install adequate street lighting immediately. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. The next speaker is Leslie Washington.
Hello, everyone. My name is Leslie Washington, and I live in Sunny Cove, District 3. And my primary concern is the homeless encampment on a canal that is reoccurring. I can't even go into my backyard because of the cursing, the fighting, using my back area behind my fence as a public toiletry, where I'm getting extra vermin in my backyard. I've sent letters, used the Compton app. My mother's gone to see the project manager for the city. The police have come out there where even yesterday they were doing drugs, but they were not even arrested. The problem is it's a health issue. It's a code enforcement. Code enforcement drives all up and down Sunny Cove, but they can't figure out the canal issue. It's kind of ridiculous. I bought the house in 2022, paid over $500,000, and I don't expect to not be able to use my backyard because of the drugs, the weed, the needles, and all this other stuff, and the new critters that have feeding off of the feces and the other trash that's behind my house. I know this may not be a primary concern for other people that don't live on the canal, but it's a major concern for me and my 6-year-old and my 7-year-old that hear screaming and hollering all night long, music playing, and nothing can be done or nothing will not be done because it's not in your community, it's not in your neighborhood, it's not behind your house. So I'm seeking assistance for some kind of regular patrol or drive through the canal because I've sent pictures. They have put 7, 8, 10 couches behind my neighbor's house. She's elderly, will not call because they broke through her fence. Now, on the other hand, my mother's old school. When she comes to visit, she puts a ladder on her fence, and there's a verbal altercation. But still, when the police are called, they're doing the drugs, nothing is done, which they should have been taken away because the police saw it. So I'm just seeking assistance for regular maintenance of the canal on Sunny Cove, where it's the horse trail side, where the dirt side is, not the concrete side, behind 252 Shear, that area, because it is absolutely atrocious. The odor is ridiculous. The encampment is ridiculous. They have children. I'm a mandated reporter. I've called, but they can't catch the children when they go out there to see the young children that are back there. So it's just atrocious. I'm asking for the council's assistance in handling this issue. Thank you.
Ms. Washington, first, thank you. I really want to thank you for your comments. And Mr. City Manager, I would request that more patrolling, especially code enforcement, be done in that area of Sunny Cove, because I've had the opportunity to be over there and to work and just drive through with some of the residents in the area. So we really need more code enforcement to kind of make sure that they are going out inciting people, especially because you got some people that's over there with a lot of cars that really don't live there. So it's just a lot of things that we can be able to do to address some of these issues.
And I know the other issue is that you have to call the Corps of Engineers, but they have removed the fence that prevents people from dropping into the canal. So it's a major health issue.
Ms. Washington, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, so I have the city manager to go out. Thank you. The next speaker is Rodney Lister.
Madam Mayor, Council, City Manager, I spoke about this a couple weeks ago, city charter, and maybe looking into a committee being reestablished because it's been over 5 years and a lot of residents just don't know who can do what in the city, how it's run day to day, and oftentimes we don't know who to contact. So for example, City of Paramount, no term limits, but they pay their council members $1,000, $61, $61 a month. City of Bellflower, term limits, they pay their council people $1,700. City of Linwood, part-time, $1,100 a month. City of Long Beach, that's gonna be an outlier. So they pay this city manager, this city mayor, $188,000, so it's an outlier. City of Carson, they're full-time, they pay their council person $89,000 a year. City of Gardena, part-time, $1,600 a month. Now, the City of Compton, we pay ours $600 a month, and we have no term limits. And at some point in time, something's gonna have to give where we're gonna look at and need younger individuals who might wanna run for council, who can't afford to run. Nothing against the current council makeup, but we don't know what it's gonna look like in 10 years. And historically, we've always gotten a certain kind of demographic of people on the plus side of 40. And as things start to change, we need to look at what do we do to ensure that we get the best people possible that can serve us, and we can serve them as citizens. So looking at maybe opening up the city charter, because about 5 years ago, they did have a recommendation in there to increase the payment from $600 to $1,000. They did have in there to have term limits to 3 terms, which is 12 years. But it never got past that level. And I'm just saying that at some point in time, maybe council, city manager can discuss the need for or the desire to establish a city charter committee to see what residents feel would need to be changed or left alone. Thank you.
The next speaker is Russell Ichabod.
Good evening, Mayor and the City Council. My name is Russell Ekbaum from the City of Carson, former employee of Compton Community College. I and other employees and ex-employees have stories that we can tell to see what the public has to say about what's been going on inside the gates of Compton Community College. None of us employees wanted this to get out of hand, but...
Madam Mayor, if we may pause this time, this is something that's outside of your legislative authority?
It's a public issue.
It's outside of this body's legislative authority. They have no authority over Compton College.
I can still speak, can I?
No, because it's outside of this legislative body's authority. You can't speak on that issue.
Yeah,
Unless this council want to hear it.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, but right now, I think we're going to hear, allow me to speak.
Thank you. Let me find out where I was at. I'm a hardworking, sorry about that. I apologize, everybody. It's okay, it's okay. None of us employees wanted this to get out of hand, but it did. And if Compton College wants to keep running their facilities the way they're running, then they're bound to run into some trouble. I am a hardworking veteran with learning disabilities and a survivor of workplace abuse. It's difficult for me to express my stories. I have things written down, record events. Please be patient and learn all that you need to know about what's been going on inside Compton Community College over the many years. Such unruly behavior for me needs to be answered. Why this type of abuse being allowed to go on for so many years, and I and other employees have our truths. One story I've been telling and never been resolved. There was an employee at Compton Community College 2019 threatening me and other employees with gun violence with no disciplinary action to it was done in front of the supervisor, and he didn't even take action when it was said. I have a grievance that never was accepted by the union and the Compton Community College. That makes sense that what's been going on inside Compton Community College with this unruly behavior seem to be happening every day in the workplace. I given recent information to Cedric L. Hicks, City Council member of Carson, U.S. Representative Nanette and office, and U.S. Representative Maxine Waters' office. There's so much more that needs to be investigated, but focusing on one person hopefully can raise questions for others. This is just one person leading into a bigger problem that's happening inside the Compton Community Gates. Thank you very much for listening. And I have some paperwork.
No, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Russell, Mr. Iqbal,
Yes, ma'am.
I believe as an employee, you do have a union there at the school, at the college?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
You have a union,
Yes, we do. I'm no longer part of Compton Community College.
so you're no longer working. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
The next speaker is Daryl Conti.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, one of my complaints is the parking. Our streets are looking like alleys, trash cans out. They blocking the whole front of their house, and this is every day. Again, I seen another couple out, well, I'm not gonna say they're a couple, another two residents fighting over parking. So they pulling on a tug of war with the trash cans. And again, you don't live here, this ain't your spot. You can't park here. He tells her, yes, I can. And I pulled over and I watched it. And since when I do that, they break it up. I ain't gonna catch all of them. I ain't gonna catch all of them. Like she said, ADUs is going up like left and right. And when you build an ADU, you pushing cars out of the garage, more cars on the street, double parking on the weekends, and ain't nobody doing nothing. So like she said, you got a car coming down the street and a car double parked. It's just a matter of time. And they're gonna have a collision, and then it's gonna be like, okay, now we need to do something. But it's coming, I'm telling you. All these ADUs, some of them are illegal. I hear hammers and nails every day. And they ain't building no pigeon cages. So what I would like to see is something done about that. You know, I have a neighbor across the street from me. She needs handicap bad because her husband can't get out the car in the driveway. He falls. And she's weak. She don't have the strength. I got to help her sometimes. When I see her, I run over there to help her. I ain't going to see that all the time either. I've been retired 8 years, you know. And I do try to pitch in and help when I see something going on, you know, to help the community out. But these ADUs, they going up left and right. I don't know what's the qualifications to be able to get y'all, for them to get them approved, but it's too much. Like I said, the streets are looking like alleys. And then another thing, we have these cars that says, these trucks out there says, we haul junk. They parking them all on the street, taking parking away from the regular citizens that live there, double parking. And then you have people that are parking in the middle of their house to keep the other person from parking because they'll be blocking either the front driveway or the back driveway. It's like the parking wars. I see it every day, every day. I live in District 3 on Law Street. And I'm listening to my neighbors, you know, being that I'm retired, we talking, that's all we talk about, parking. It's bad. It's real bad. Now, it's just a matter of time before somebody get hit, a crowbar or a fist or something because they getting into it. And this parking stuff is serious. It's bad. You know, so if we can get that addressed.
Yes, Darryl. Thank you for your comments. Brill.
Abril Villanueva, District 2. Today I'm here as part of the Rising Community. I'm a RTF registered. I'm a, RTF Regional Task Force member alongside with Mr. Bruce. And I'm here to announce that South LA Decide Participatory Grant Making Initiative. We are not open. Our request proposal are now open. Rising Communities, formerly Community Health Councils, in partnership with First 5 LA, is pleased to announce that the request for proposal RFP is now open for South LA Decides. The initiative invests in community-driven solutions that strengthen families and improves outcomes for children prenatal to age 5 across South LA and Compton. We are going to be having an upcoming informational session Friday, October 17, 2025, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Join us for a virtual information session to learn about South LA Decides and what are the requirements. Our proposals are going to be due late Friday, November 17. So if you guys have any questions, please email beststart_grantees@risingcommunities.org. Yep, so the upcoming session, so everybody can get the rules and regulations. Once again, it's going to be Friday, October 17, 2025, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. So you guys can know more about the grant, how much is it going to be, what are the requirements. I will be forwarding this information to Ms. Darden so she can share with everybody and the mayor. So please apply. I know that a lot of nonprofits right now are having a hard time with funding, and this is a good one. And we want to make sure that the participants that apply are from Compton and East Compton. As Mr. Spicer has seen, we have funded a lot of the nonprofits that have worked with him. If you guys see a lot of in the flyers, the Best Start in South LA and stuff, that's from Rising Communities. Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Duhart.
Abril, you didn't give a location. You said Friday, you gave the time, but no location.
Can I speak? Am I allowed? It's going to be it's a Zoom call. It's going to be in Zoom.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
The next speaker is Albert.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council, Mr. City Manager. Looks like tonight parking is the topic of the evening. So my agency still observes Columbus Day as a federal holiday, so I stood home on the federal holiday and forgot that street sweeping was coming by, and I got a ticket. Well, I'm not upset at getting a ticket. That was my fault. I should have known better. What I'm upset at is that in front of my vehicle, there's a car that's been sitting there for 2 weeks on jack stands. Somehow that vehicle was missed. Right in front of my vehicle, somehow that vehicle was missed, and it's been sitting there for 2 weeks. What does code enforcement do, or parking enforcement? Who is responsible for that? Right across from that vehicle are trash cans on the sidewalk. Code enforcement, parking enforcement never sees it. So it's not that code enforcement needs to be doing more patrolling. In my opinion, they need to be doing their job. And it's easy to see, because any of you can drive through any of these neighborhoods and see the cones, see the trash cans, but code enforcement, parking enforcement doesn't see it. So whoever's in charge needs to start looking, maybe going on ride-alongs with these folks and see what they're doing, because a vehicle sitting on jack stands for 2 weeks and still there, not cited, not towed, it's just unsad. Thank you.
The next speaker is Mark Smith.
Greetings, Council. Mark Smith. I hadn't planned to speak today, but the parking situation seems to be a hot item, as they've said. I've come to the Council on a number of occasions imploring the Council. I think we need a moratorium on ADU building until we get this parking straight. More importantly, do you realize these houses, I'll go with where I grew up, West Laurel. Parking conditions are terrible. People park near hydrants. Behoove you on maybe a Friday night, council goes around and just drives your district and see the violations for yourself. More importantly, the sewage system in our infrastructure. There's a big violation, I'm sure, regarding building and safety and our planning, because you're tapping into the sewage system and you have to run another line. This is per the state. You have to run a separate line. It wasn't meant to flush 12, a family in the back and another family in the back. These are single family dwellings. The sewage line is designed for 4 to 5 people, not 10 to 12. We're piling up. We're convoluting our problem. We're not enforcing the codes to run that separate sewer line. That's not being enforced. You add on to your garage, you're tapping into the same sewer line as the front house, and you've got a separate family back there, thereby causing a greater problem. You can smell some of the stench, particularly I do, on Greenleaf and Willowbrook especially. We're backed up here. Parking, I know we have a plan, I know it's in its infancy, but it has to stop. This building, ADU building needs to cease because we are bottlenecking ourselves into catastrophe. And as this gentleman said, it's bordering on violence, people becoming very stressed out about the parking. Furthermore, you're not able to have any visitors. No one could come visit you. There's nowhere to park, literally. So, let's relieve ourselves of this isolation camp we're building here in Compton. Thank you.
The next speaker is Tanya. You want to keep talking out in the audience, then we have to leave. Oh, excuse me. Fidel.
Fidel Marquez, District 1. This, I don't know what you would want to call it, report. Our firemen been working years overtime. What took so long to bring us a report? And what was missing out of this report, since we're talking about overtime, what caused, let me rephrase that. The cause of the overtime, what amount of firefighters were out on leave, stress leave, medical? What did it cost the taxpayers? And all that falls back on is the fire chief. We need a new fire chief. These firemen been working years with no contract, and no one's saying nothing. But yet, what is his salary a year? Taxpayers pay that. What is his pension? What are the taxpayers paying on the pension? See, it reflects, when people make ignorant decisions, it reflects the taxpayers. We forked the bill. It cost us a lot of money. And if you guys didn't know, tax bills already hitting the mailboxes. And I'm not happy. I'm not happy. It's too expensive to live in Compton. More money, less service. You put all these ADUs in this city, you guys approve it, and the cost that it's costing the taxpayers. You don't realize the legality part. How many lawsuits does the city of Compton have right now that no one wants to talk about? What is it going to cost the taxpayers, the departure of the controller? Are we going broke on lawsuits? No one wants to talk about that. But we're steady being taxed. Poor leadership across the board. Everyone needs to be fired, and we need to start from scratch. There was too many people hired here by their friends and family that had no experience. And we want to continue this cycle. And I send the city manager an email, the city attorney an email, and I hope he received it, about last week's episode. When we had a commissioner disrupt the meeting. Emma, you didn't put him out, but yet you addressed it, Missy, just now. Selective ticketing.
Madam Mayor, it is now 6:31, and we do have the governing body of the successor agency. to be opened up.
Excuse. The audience comments? We only have 3 people left to speak. So we'll finish that and then we'll go into that meeting. The next speaker is Lynn Bone.
Lynn Bone, City of Compton. It was like 3 weeks ago, we had a fireman here that was paramedic or whatever that was trying to speak on the situation. And the mayor cut him off. He was speaking for the people, so the people would know what's going on. The fire department have been complaining for years about the overtime. We even had wives in here that were saying about the overtime. The only reason why, oh, and the other thing I want to ask, who hired this consultant? It never came across the DS, and it's only because the city controller is no longer here. So for the people to know, this will be another budget, another department that this city manager is going to put under his belt. The city of Compton was not meant for one person to run this city, and that's what you have right now. You see, by him stopping a person that lives in the city from speaking, he's just gone too far. He's gone too far. And he brought up the fire department as an example so he can have its roots in the controller's office. People, I want to tell you, when the DA came a couple of weeks ago, I had already written a letter and sent a package. And I was told I had to address the city attorney, because the city attorney is supposed to be our legal law enforcement here in the city. But like I told him, the city manager here would not let the city attorney do his job. So once they get that the city attorney cannot do his job, the DA will be in here. And like he told me, he has arrested many, many politicians because there's something wrong here, totally. You know, people, even block club members or whatever, this election is very important. These people need to go. This city manager has addressed credit cards. It's almost a year. We haven't seen one invoice, Ms. Darden, which you said at that meeting, at that agenda meeting, that they was going to have them every quarter. Haven't seen one. And the city manager, in that resolution, he controls everything. He tells you how to spend them. He says if it's okay. And where's the money coming to pay for these cards? None of that. I'm telling you, we have not a little. We have no leadership in this city. None at all. None of these people should be placed back up there. None of them. And it's very important also, Mr. Lester, about the charter, which I have been mentioning for a long time.
The next speaker is Vanessa.
I want to kind of piggyback off of what Mark was saying and just mention a lot of these ADUs are illegal ADUs, and that's what code enforcement and building and safety need to get out and start walking the streets and looking at these houses. I don't care if they have to check every one of them. Check every one of them that have a building in the back, because most of them are illegal. You have somebody move in today, they start building on their garage. That's what's going on. So that's why we're now bottlenecking. That's why there are too many cars. If they can't accommodate their families, go buy a ranch out in the valley somewhere or out in Palmdale. And then you can accommodate as many people as you want. But Compton is not built for that. Their infrastructure is probably one of the oldest infrastructures, if not the oldest, in the state of California. It has not been upgraded. We cannot accommodate ADUs. We can't even hardly accommodate extensions on a home here because of the infrastructure. But you keep allowing that, and now it's going to be a problem. It's going to go past a fight. It's going to go to the point where it's gunplay, and we've all heard about that when it comes to parking issues. Second thing, for these vendors on the street, get a night market for these vendors. If they're not at a designated area, ticket them and take everything that they have. Chinatown has a night market. You don't see vending on the street like that except for the ones that they do allow that's been there hundreds and hundreds of years. But they have a night market. And most of these vendors start at 5 o'clock because they know code enforcement is not out. So they're illegally vending anyway. And when we talk about taxes, who's paying taxes, who's not, because who came here yesterday? Most of the taxes that are being paid, gas tax, food tax, is not the taxes that's going to pay most of the stuff that we have to pay taxes for. So get a night market. They're not legal on the street. I bet you none of them have a license. The majority of these vendors on the street do not have a license. That's why LA has now brought in the health department to start going out because they don't have a license. Find one of these vacant lots. Give them a night market. If they want to sit there, that way you can control licensing if they have a license. I see vendors all in these different shopping centers. They're not legal. And you're going to get sued. You can get sued for that too because you're allowing it. Anything that you allow illegally, council, you can get sued for it. People come up with all kinds of reasons to sue. And that's one of them. Well, they allowed it, so I think I can just go on and sue them because they allowed them to be on the street. Another thing is a help.
The next speaker is Missy.
Oh, Lord. Good evening. Missy, the city of Compton. I live in the city of Compton. First and foremost, let me address you, Emma, real quick, politely. Last week, you had a commissioner sit here and tell a resident to shut up, and you never violated him like you tried with me. You never once removed him. So don't play in my face like that. Don't do it, please. Second of all, I want when we went into, I guess it would be in August, we went into darkness, and we stopped with these nonprofits that needs to increase their rent. Well, what about Volunteers of America? Lestine Johnson. She came in and she still haven't gotten her rent increased. I checked. So her rent needs to be increased. She's been in that facility since 2000, whatever, but her rent needs to go up like the rest of the nonprofit. I want to speak on something that I received, and I'm very devastated because when I look at my my tax bill, and I see where your assistant city manager, Trevina, paid for Spicer to ride around in a Lamborghini last year on the resident taxpayers funding. I have an issue with that. Where's that $90,000 that Dr. Dre gave you? We're not supposed to take care of you. At least I don't want to take care of you. Yes, you did it. I seen the paperwork. I think about a month ago, I seen you on TV talking about Proposition 50, but you never did give the resident a clarity on why you should. And I was very disheartened by you being the mayor and not knowing what the proposition at that particular time was. It's for redistricting the city. So yes, on 50. There's too many nonprofits running around here in the city of Compton. It's under the watch of Asia Brown, the Brown crime family. It's a list of them over in District 2. And also, Andre, what about this basketball league, Elevate Incorporation? When you brought those people along a couple of years ago over there at Luthers Park, they were supposed to be paying rent. What happened to that? What happened to that? Yeah, Elevate. And Emma, I know you was over in Inglewood, but Compton is supposed to be the home that you say you and care and love about. If you're gonna do fundraising, do it over here in the city where you love.
Okay. Madam City Clerk, now at the consent agenda.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Hold just, are you going to do consent? Oh, you go ahead.
Consent items are expected to be non-controversial.
Madam Mayor, before you do consent, may I just address a couple things that were said in public comments?
Yes.
For clarity. There was a couple of things that were raised in public comments that I want to address. One was a charter review committee. We're planning to have a workshop by the end of the month to address a series of committees that we need to do some reappointments and bring forward. So we're planning to do that by the end of the month, and the charter review committee is one of them. And also, for those citizens that were speaking concerning parking and parking conditions, there is a series of things that council has given directives on that we're working on from a staff perspective, which is to look at permitted parking. We're also getting ready to do a citywide assessment. And as recent as last week when we were at the Leagues of City Conference, we spoke with some vendors that provide some other tools that will assist us. But the thing that I want to give the most attention to is, as people address parking and reference ADUs, you need to understand in 2025, state law changed around ADUs, and nearly every city submitted letters in opposition to the state because the 2025 laws really just opened the doors for you basically to do anything on an ADU. ADUs no longer require the owner to occupy them. You can build up to 8 units on a lot. You have to legalize the unpermitted ADUs that are currently existing. We are required by law to permit any ADU within 60 days of submission. We've had to relax setbacks and heights, and you can build up to 25 feet high. Parking requirements have been simplified to the point that you do not have to provide parking for an ADU. HOAs cannot overrule the state rules on ADUs, and you can actually convert an ADU into a condo and sell it just like you can sell a condo in a building. So I say that so you understand the city is not doing this because we want to do it, but the way the law has changed, there's nothing we can do to stop what's happening. So I encourage you to go look at the ADU law for the state of California for 2025. Mayor, that's all my comments.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager.
Madam Mayor, did you want to open up the successor agency? It's now 6:45 p.m.
So are you saying that we're going to do both of these together, or we're going to do them separately?
You can open it up if you like. There's only one item on.
Just one item on there?
Yes.
Okay. No, I know. I know we can do it, but I don't want to do it. Not going to. What we're going to do, we're going to continue this agenda. We finish this agenda, and then we'll go to the success agenda.
Thank you, Mayor.
Consent items are routine and expected to be non-controversial. They would be acted upon by the council at one time without discussion unless a council member requests an item to be removed or discussed. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, roll call.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Duhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Spicer?
Yes.
Councilmember Bowers?
Yes.
Councilmember Darden?
Yes.
And Mayor Sharif?
Yes. And we are now at the regular agenda.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We are now in the regular agenda. And these are reports of officers, boards, commissions, and committees, and city council. Number 5 is appointments of officers, council members, boards, commissions, and committees, League of California Cities, voting delegates, and alternates appointments.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Madam Councilwoman Darden. So now we do have on item number 5, the League of Cities, California Cities, we have a resolution here in regarding to the appointment of the delegate as well as the voting member for the League of Cities, and we need to get a motion for that. We're going to try to do it all at once. Or do we have? No. Yeah, we just did. Excuse me. Okay.
So, Madam Mayor, are we making a nomination at this point?
As a matter of fact, we probably have to do it all over again because we did it previously, and we're going to do it again because we have to approve the resolution that's here that's being sent in. That's what the item is about. It's about the resolution that's attached, which is for item number 5.
Well, I nominate Councilman Bowers.
Well, okay, so he's already there. The resolution, we just have to approve this resolution.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because we voted on it already. Madam City Clerk, am I correct?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The resolution of the City Council of the City of Compton authorizing Councilmember Bowers as the council member delegate to represent the city at the 25th Annual League of California Cities Conference. The City Council of the City of Compton hereby finds and resolves as follows. Section 1, the League of California Cities, LOCC, Annual Conference is scheduled for conference on October 8th through 10th, 2025 in Long Beach. Section 2, the League has encouraged each California City Council to appoint a voting delegate and possibly an alternate who will attend the conference and represent their respective city.
Madam City Clerk, I believe the only thing we had to do was make a motion.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
If I may. Councilman Bowers has been our legal representative for the League of California Cities. I think the League is requesting this document for their files. That's my understanding.
And you're correct.
Yes.
And that's why I said we just needed to approve this item. We just needed to approve the resolution because he's already been there. He's already serving as the delegate.
And then we have to forward it to the League of California Cities?
Yes, they just have to forward this to the League of California Cities for him to be on record.
That's correct.
Okay. So right now we need a roll call.
Thank you. Councilmember Duhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Spicer?
Yes.
Councilmember Bowers?
Yes.
Councilmember Darden?
Yes.
And Mayor Sharif?
Yes.
That passes 5-0.
Now, are there any other appointments to be made this evening?
You may choose to take care of the Olympics Committee appointments.
Yes. Thank you. We have the Legal Cities that's coming up, and we also have on the list, we do have.
That the League of Cities is coming up.
Not the Legal Cities, I'm sorry. I mean the, what do I do with that? Oh. The Olympics Committee is the appointments for the Olympics Committee. And Madam, is there any appointments for the Olympics Committee? Anyone here that would like to make an appointment?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me find his application because I want to make sure I don't mispronounce his name.
Okay. Okay. Councilman Bowers? I talked to you about it, you'll bring it back next week. Bring it back next week?
Okay, yeah, I'm not ready to make the appointment. I have an issue with the process, how we did this, because I'll give you an example. So I have some questions like who is going to chair this? What are their duties? The other commissions like oversight, beautification, it spells out their duties that they give recommendations to the council, but nothing exists for the Olympic Commission. It's putting people on there, but now what? We got to come back and figure out something? And the other thing is this, even with respect to the other commissions, I've asked that the process be changed. So if you want to get on a commission, you put an application in for each commission, not put 10 commissions on one application. The other thing is this, I recognize some of the names on these applications, but I want to interview the person. I want to talk to them and see who it is before I just vote on a name. And I think the process should be changed. Not only that, the city manager did mention the workshop. We're supposed to have a workshop to break all this down to the applicants. So we're not repeating the past over and over and over. But anyway, I'm not ready to do my appointment. I'll hold off till next week.
Madam City Clerk, I believe this was, when we put this together, that was work done by the city clerk and one of the assistant city managers. Ms. Bing, would you like to share some insight on this and what happened here?
Good evening, Council. Yes, for this specific committee, I did work with the city clerk, and I will be one of the staff liaisons that will be staffing this. As the city manager mentioned, we will be bringing an item back for council and the residents at the end of this month for a citywide board and a commission workshop, and we will spell out all of the terms that Councilmember Bowers has mentioned and take under advisement all of the recommendations from the entire legislative body.
Now, my question is this, is that when you guys was putting this, was anything discussed in regarding what discussed in regarding the duties and everything?
I believe that the duties are actually listed in the resolution that was previously adopted by the council.
By the council.
But for the good of the legislative body and for the questions that are being asked and for our residents, we can definitely go over this in detail at the upcoming workshop. But Mayor, you are very accurate that all of the duties are listed in the resolution that was previously adopted.
And that was previously approved by the council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
I have pulled a copy of the ordinance, and it was on the council agenda for January 14, 2025. And of course, this is a new committee that we're establishing, and I have a copy of the staff report and the ordinance as well. And as our assistant city manager mentioned, it is listed here under the sections: the purpose, the appointment, number of members, advisory members, term of office, and etc. So this is far past the time that we should have made these appointments. This should have been done long ago. So for that reason, I would like to go ahead and make my appointment tonight. So, and if for some reason, if someone is appointed and it finds out they're not doing the duties or doing what is in the best interest of the city of Compton, then we can remove them and reappoint someone else. But we're far, because this was on the agenda for January 2025, and it is now October, so it is far too long. We need to go ahead and move forward. And I understand what you're saying, Councilman Bauer, and I will give you a copy if you would like this for the staff report and the ordinance.
Yeah, it'd been good to be included. The other thing regarding this committee, is it 5 or 9? We agreed that it should be 9 people on there. Did we make those changes?
Yes, we can bring it back, we can make amendment and make the changes. Thank you. Ms. Councilwoman Darden? Duhart, Councilwoman Duhart, did you make your appointment?
Yes. Lorethia Dunham.
You may need to spell that last name so the
It's
city clerk.
D as in David, U, N as in Nancy, H as in Harry, A as in Apple, M as in Mary. Dunham.
Okay. Councilwoman Darden? Are we going to take them all together? Just give us the names and we just approve all?
If that's the case, I have one as well. I know I didn't say I did, but I do as well. Did you want to take Councilwoman Darden's first, or did you want to go in order?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, well, I want to go with Jania James. I think that's how you pronounce that. Jania, Genneia, James.
Councilwoman Darden?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My appointment is Mr. Michael Simpson, and he is a 4th District resident and a retiree from LA County. His name is spelled Michael, last name Simpson, Simpson. Thank you.
And my appointment is Benita Cooper.
What was the first name?
Benita Cooper. Battina, Bettina. Thank you. The first name is Battina. Cooper. Madam City Clerk, roll call.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Duhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Spicer?
Yes.
Councilmember Bowers?
Yes.
Councilmember Darden?
Yes.
And Mayor Sharif?
Yes.
Mayor, we now move to City Manager's Report number 6, a request to schedule a public hearing to consider the reallocation of Community Development Block Grants, CDBG, and Home Investment Partnership home funds to other CDBG and home-eligible activities on Tuesday, November 18, 2025 at 5:45 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. Member Duhart?
Yes.
Member Spicer?
Yes.
Member Bowers?
Yes.
Member Darden?
Yes.
And Mayor Sharif?
Yes.
Mayor, we now move to new business. Number 7 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Compton rescinding resolution number 26296, amending the fiscal year 2025 through 26 budget and authorizing the city manager to establish a purchase order with Roadline Products, Inc. for the procurement of pavement markings, equipment, and materials in an amount not to exceed $100,000.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion? Roll call, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Member Duhart?
Yes.
Member Spicer?
Yes.
Member Bowers?
Yes.
Member Darden?
Yes.
And Mayor Sharif?
Yes.
Number 8 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Compton authorizing the city manager to amend the fiscal year 2025 through 26 budget appropriating funds from the fund balance and to establish purchase orders with Toyota Material Handling Solutions, Quinn Company, and Carson Trailer, Inc. to pay outstanding invoices in a total amount of $233,588.80.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Madam City Clerk, roll call.
Thank you. Member Duhart,
Yes.
Member Spicer,
Yes.
Member Bowers,
Yes.
Member Darden,
Yes.
and Mayor Sharif.
Yes.
Number 9 is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Compton rescinding Resolution Number 25812, readopting, ratifying, and amending the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget for the acceptance and appropriate funds from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, Home Investment Partnership American Rescue Grant Program, Home ARP, funds in the amount of $1,988,847.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I just have a question for our city manager. Would any of these funds qualify to be used for the facade program that we had talked about?
Madam Mayor and Council, that was the purpose of, actually, I believe it was item 6, that we are going to have a public hearing because there were some expenditures that was listed in this item back in 2023 that were incorrect, and we're going to do that, and we can have a discussion at that point in that public hearing about whether reallocation is appropriate or not.
Thank you.
Roll call, Madam City Clerk?
Thank you, Mayor. Member Duhart,
Yes.
Member Spicer,
Yes.
Member Bowers,
Yes.
Member Darden,
Yes.
and Mayor Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor, we now move to council comments.
Would you like to do your comments now, or would you like for us to finish the other meeting and you do your council comments at the end?
You're asking council.
Yes, I'm asking council.
Do it all at the end.
Do it all at the end? Okay. Is that okay with you?
Yes, to do it at the end?
Uh-huh.
Yes, please.
Okay. Then we open up our successor agency.
Do we have to close this?
Yes, uh-huh. We need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Thank you. Member Duhart,
Yes.
Member Spicer,
Yes.
Member Bowers,
Yes.
Member Darden,
Yes.
and Mayor Sharif.
Yes.
And you now are adjourned at 7:04 p.m.
And we now need a motion to open up the success agency.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Thank you. Member Duhart,
Here.
Member Spicer,
Here.
Member Bowers,
Here.
Member Darden,
Here.
and Mayor Sharif.
Here.
And you now open at 7:05 p.m.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, we move to public comments on agenda and non-agenda items for successor agency.
I don't see any.
It was there.
No, I don't see any here.
The speaker card is on with the regular agenda.
Is it with the regular agenda?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is here. Success agency here. It's right here. And there isn't anyone that signed up. Right here. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Lynn Bone? Mm-mm. And the item must be about what's on the agenda.
No, it says Agenda items and no items. I mean, an agenda item or other, non-agenda items. Thank you. I don't know why you try to pull that on me, Emma. Okay. Lynn Boone, City of Compton. You know, I want to go back again to the,
You have
as
2
far
minutes.
as, what?
2 minutes.
Okay, well then stop talking to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Want you to know.
I want to go back to when I was discussing about the city attorney because I want the people to know. If you know of any violations to the charter, or if you know of anything that's wrong that you want to complain about, address the city attorney. If it's not handled by the city attorney, you should forward it to the DA's office, and they will come in. The city man, this is still Compton, people. This is not Hopkinsville. This is the city of Compton. Although you guys are allowing this man to do whatever he wants to do, which makes you look like a bunch of dummies, it's not the same for the people out here. We know our rights, and we know what's right and wrong. And people, if you could ever see the chart for the city of Compton, the people are on top. The people are the ones on top of the mayor, the council, and the other elected officials. But it's not being utilized here. This is the most disrespected council there is. You don't respect any of the people. But they're going to get out there and they're going to ask you to vote for them. And you see what kind of job they're doing now. Please, please, people, think about it, because that's your choice.
Since it's non-agenda, I want to piggyback what I was discussing about Lestine Johnson, Ms. Darden, Emma, and Ms. Duhart. Though I'm sure is acquaintance of you guys. She needs to increase her rent. Nebraska didn't get a chance to bring that paperwork back in August, but her rent needs to be increased. I checked and it has not been increased. Spicer, back to you with this elevator incorporation. I know the guy is a good friend of yours, but he needs to pay rent over there. The city of Compton, those buildings in the 2nd District do not belong to you. It belongs to us taxpayers. You are not a taxpayer. I am a taxpayer. So as taxpayer, back to Trevina, she needs to stop, when people quit, she needs to stop rehiring these people back. And you guys don't even verify or look into it. Jimmy, he quit. She hired him back. He went from assistant up there in the city manager, budget manager. Now he's over in Nebraska seat. So that let me think that you guys need to go to school or try to figure out how to run a business. This is a business. So anywhere you go, if you quit your job, you got to start from the bottom up if they decide to let you back in. This is the only city I know that people quit and can come back. Brandon was another person. He quit. But Sharon got the gun. She's the rabbit with the gun now. And it's really sad that we lost a controller like her. I had faith in her, but some of you guys up there just disrespected her. And she felt some kind of way. But it's time for you guys to come together and get our city back on track and stop letting these nonprofits run all over Compton, collect money off of Compton's name. They ain't doing nothing for the city.
Fidel Marquez, District 1. This is for the residents. If you have a concern and you don't like your living conditions, and we're being forced to live on top of each other, and it's a public safety issue now, these police, firemen can't get down the street. We are a chartered city. I've been saying this for years. I had an attorney you guys hired come up to the podium and say she won a case, she represented Carson, Redondo Beach, Whittier, and Del Mar. We do not have to follow state law. If we don't want it here, we don't have to have it here. There's a new one that just passed, SB 79, where you can put low-income housing near the metros. We don't want it. I'm telling you right now. We don't want it. If there's any residents that want to get on the class action, everybody else is suing the city. Why can't the residents sue the city? We're tired, and we're going to go for it. If anybody wants to get on this, reach out to me. I'm here every Tuesday. You see me out in the city. We're done with playing games. This is our city. We need to be respected. Enough of the kickbacks.
Speaking of the ADUs again, Mr. City Manager, I understand what you were saying, but we are a chartered city. And I know why he said it, because the council voted for it. And we didn't have a public hearing on it. But you voted for ADUs. You voted for public housing. Oh, it was voted on, because that's the only way it could have passed in a charter city. So don't shake your head, Emma. I know anything bad, you weren't sitting there, but you were sitting there. Just like with the $3 million with Danny Bakewell, you were sitting there. We saw it on camera. We actually pulled the film up. We saw you. That's why you turn all of your power over to the state. This is a chartered city. If we don't want certain things, we shouldn't have them. You don't have the brains to tell us what we should have. We know what we should have. And we've been in this city, most of us, since 59, 49. We know how things should be. We know the infrastructure is not ready for ADUs. While we're allowing people to bring in ADUs, look at what it says about infrastructure. In there, it talks about the infrastructure has to be up to par. It's not up to par. And the same thing Mark was talking about. You have a house in the front was for 6 people, and now you got 12 people sitting in it. Then you got 12 in the back. And now and you're wondering why your neighbors calling you saying their plumbing is backing up. That's why it's backing up. Because the neighbor next door has several illegal ADUs. Not only do they have illegal ADUs, they have 12 people in the house, in each house. You can't do it. It's not going to work. No matter, it's not going to work. The parking is not going to work either. It's just too much. You're overbearing. And tell me what totally low-income housing can pay for itself. Show it to me.
Again, Mark Smith, I've heard the city manager speak on what we are mandated to do by the state. We've heard the other side regarding what we can do as a chartered city. Simply put, and I don't know how the ADU jives with our general plan in the future, but we are, I have property on West Laurel Street. I have an illegal ADU to my left, the garage, and they added on another one. We are certainly looking blighted with this ADU. There's no enhancement in our city. So what we're told to do is to make our city look worse? Is that what's being suggested? Because that is what's happening with the parking. Again, we've got Thanksgiving coming up. Who can visit you? We've got Christmas following that. And so is the state setting us up for failure? In this mandated ADU, something must be able to be legislated or policy driven to correct the problem, because it's in your face, it's in our face every day. And the parking permit, that's a start, but hell, I'm one of those double parkers too, that turn my emergency flashers in and have to run in and run right back out. As that gentleman was just saying, it's just a matter of time. Council, there must be something we're able to do. instead of just blindly leading us. The state says do it, so we're setting ourselves up for failure. It's not working. So let's, whatever research that we need to do.
Thank you. That's the end of the audience comments.
Thank you, Mayor. We now move to new business. Number 1 is a resolution of the Board of Directors of the successor agency to the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Compton, authorizing the Executive Director to enter into a temporary license agreement between the successor agency and Santa's Christmas trees for the purpose of selling Christmas trees on certain agency-owned property located at 2000 West Compton Boulevard.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second. Have a discussion.
Discussion.
I just had a question as to how did we come up with the dollar amount of $2,000 for the, I don't know, it looks like about 45 days of service or rental. So I just want to know how we got to that dollar amount. Is that like 50 cents a square foot, or we just 50 cents a square foot for 45 days? I got a yes from in the back. Okay. Yeah, you probably should.
Excuse me.
Good evening, council members and honorable
Before
mayor.
you start
Yes,
talking,
ma'am. Go ahead.
Sir, if you don't mind having a seat, because we're trying to finish conducting the meeting. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So, good evening, Mayor and Council. Cecil Flornick, Director of Community Development. In this instance, Mr. Menlo from the Christmas Tree Company is renting 4,000 square feet of the site. So if you recall from last year and prior years, he fences off the 4,000 square foot area, does a great job of keeping it neat and clean. Also pulls a $1 million policy, which we are named and covered. And so the price came from 50 cents a square foot, multiplied by 4,000 square feet.
And for the 45-day period?
45-day window. It usually ends up being closer to a month. He likes to set up sales right after Thanksgiving, so he has the opportunity to kind of maximize his time. And it's a family business, second generation, Compton homegrown, and so we felt like it was the right thing to do.
Thank you. That's all the questions I had.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilman Darden?
Oh, no, I believe I see Mr. Brownie in the audience. And he has been selling Christmas trees for approximately 20 years here in the city.
Yes,
he was
ma'am.
formerly across the street where the Seventh-day Adventist lot is now. So, that's been the going rate for $2,000 for that time period.
And so this is for vacant lots to be distinguished from our properties that have a structure on them.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to recognize that Mr. Brownie, I recognize him in the audience.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion? I'm sorry. Roll call?
Thank you. Councilmember Duhart?
Yes.
Member Spicer?
Yes.
Member Bowers?
Yes.
Member Darden?
Yes.
And Mayor Sharif?
Yes.
Mayor, we now move to director comments.
Okay. Councilwoman Duhart, would you like to make your comments?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Last Saturday, I had the pleasure of attending the Compton 125 Historical Society Speaker Series at Gonzalez Park. I'd like to thank Ray Anthony Height, Jamal Anazi, and Marcus D. Newsom for sharing their art stories and experiences. Their presentation served as a powerful inspiration to the next generation of artists and storytelling. And Mr. Height, he works for Marvel, and I think that is something that the community needs to know, that we have someone who was born and raised in Compton, who's an artist and works for Marvel. And he makes sure that Compton is well represented. The Compton EMS cohort launches this December. This is a transformative 5-month program that includes EMT training and ride-alongs, life coaching and mentorship, job readiness training, a $1,500 a month stipend, and job placement assistance after graduation. To apply or for more information, visit ComptonEMScorps.org. And I want to emphasize a stipend of $1,500 a month. This Sunday at 10 a.m., Mayor Emma Sharif will be serving as the guest speaker for Laity Sunday at First Unity Methodist Church on Long Beach Boulevard. The address is 1025 South Long Beach Boulevard. That's 10 a.m. Sunday. Please come out and support the mayor. No one should face breast cancer alone. In support of this vital cause, Neighborhood Housing Services is offering free mammograms to qualifying participants. The next screening will take place Saturday, November 1st from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 1051 West Rosecrans Avenue. We encourage everyone to take advantage of this opportunity and help spread the word so our community members can receive the care they deserve. For more information, contact area code 844-426-3926. I'd like to close in memory of Mr. Robert Watkins, also known to many as Bobby. His celebration of life will take place on Thursday, October 20th at 11:30 a.m. at the Inglewood Cemetery Mortuary, located at 3801 West Manchester Boulevard, Inglewood, California. Bobby was a proud Compton native and a true hometown legend whose legacy continues to inspire generations. He was a gifted two-sport athlete, played both baseball and basketball for Compton High School. Bobby earned All-Coast League baseball honors in 1965 and 1966 and was named to the CIF All-Basketball team in 1966 and selected for the All-Coast League basketball first team in both 1965 and 1966. He led Compton High to the CIF basketball playoffs both years and graduated as the second all-time leading scorer in the school's basketball history. After graduation, Bobby was drafted by the Houston Astros June 7, 1966, and made his major league debut on September 6, 1969, at just 21 years old, and didn't miss a single game all season. Robert Bobby Watkins will truly be missed. May his legendary legacy live on through the hearts and minds of all those he touched. Bobby also brought forth to the council, which did get approved, Cressy Legends to be installed at Gonzalez Park. I'd like to thank you for coming out this evening. Your presence, input, and commitment to staying informed, speaking up, and working together help strengthen our community and propel our city forward. And in closing, always remember to eat, shop, and buy Compton. a safe, clean, and friendly city. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councilman Spicer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to announce two Halloween events that we have coming up. On October 26th, Halloween skate contest. That's Sunday the 26th from 1 to 4 at Wilson Park. There'll be free goodies, snacks, skateboards, best costumes, and more. For more information, reach out to my office or my liaison at tspears@comptoncity.org. That's TSPEARS at comptoncity.org. And our other Halloween event is going to be on Halloween, October 31st. It's going to be a haunted house and a trunk or treat at Looters Park. Address is 1500 East Rosecrans, Compton 90221. That's Friday. Halloween night starts at 4 p.m. We will also have a movie night. A movie play that night in the park. I believe it's going to be Beetlejuice, but I'm not 100% sure. So we'll have food, treats, candy, movies, and more. For more information, just reach out to my liaison at tspears@comptoncity.org. And I guess that concludes my council comments. You all have a wonderful night.
Councilman Bowers.
Good evening, Compton. Last week I had the opportunity to attend the League of California Cities 2025 annual conference and expo in Long Beach. It was a very informative experience and a wonderful opportunity to fellowship with other city officials and corporate leaders from across the state. The conference provided valuable insight into innovative policies, best practices, and strategies to strengthen local government. While there, I completed the required trainings on understanding public service ethics, laws, and principles, and harassment prevention training for supervisors and elected officials. The purpose of this conference is to empower local leaders, expand and protect local control, and reaffirm that cities are the economic engines of our state. Examples of legislative and policy workshops that the California League of Cities membership affords officials include preparing local leaders for immigration and policy changes, the power of public transportation in shaping communities, maximizing resources and making crime solving more efficient through data intelligence tools, policy shifts and building family-friendly cities, childcare as a critical infrastructure. Another big one was effective parking management and the future of urban parking. We had a town hall here a week or two ago regarding parking. There was a lot of people here, but a lot of people didn't show, and I think a lot of the questions or things that were presented tonight were answered. But with this particular training or workshop, they presented some very innovative ways to address the parking through technology. So anyway, more of that is coming down the pipe. Each of these sessions provided meaningful strategies that I look forward to exploring further as we continue working to move Compton forward. This past weekend, I also attended the Sunny Cove Block Club meeting for phases 1, 2, and 3. It was a great success and encouraging to see the community come together in such strong numbers. The discussions were productive, and residents offered thoughtful solutions to address community concerns collectively. I want to take a moment to extend my prayers and support and well wishes to Ms. Frances Davis, the Block Club president for Sunny Cove phases 1, 2, and 3. We stand with her and wish her continued strength and healing during this time. I'd like to announce that the Compton Fire Department, in partnership with the San Diego Southern California Blood Bank, will host a community blood drive on Wednesday, October 22nd, here at Dollar High Community Center from 9 a.m. to 3. This event is open to all residents who wish to donate blood in support of local trauma centers and the LA Drop Pre-Hospital Blood Transfusion Program, which serves the city of Compton. We have a blood transfusion program, our paramedics do here in Compton. So they could actually give you blood in the field if you need that. Walk-ins are welcome, and your participation can make a life-saving difference. I'd also like to remind residents that the 2025 Compton Woodley Air and Space Fair will take place on Saturday, November 1st at 901 West Alondra Boulevard from 10 a.m. to 4. The event will feature aerospace exhibits, live aircraft demonstrations, a new space zone experience, and interactive workshops celebrating Compton's aviation legacy and inspiring the next generation of innovators. Admission is free, and it's a great opportunity for families to come together and experience something extraordinary right here in our city. Lastly, the senior town hall meeting follow-up has been scheduled for Wednesday, November 5th. Additional details will be shared as the date approaches. This meeting will focus on the action items and concerns raised during our July session, ensuring that our seniors' voices continue to guide our work. As always, I want to thank the residents of the 3rd District and entire Compton community for your continued involvement and support. Through collaboration, shared responsibility, and community unity, we continue moving Compton forward. Thank you, and have a safe and productive week.
Councilwoman Darden.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This past Thursday evening, I attended the reception at the League of California Cities Conference in Long Beach to meet and greet the TransTech Company, which provides municipal services, including building and safety, construction management, and plan checking to the cities and public agencies. On Saturday, I attended the Compton Clergy Council that was held at the community church, and one of the guest speakers was our Congresswoman Maxine Waters, and also our new sheriff captain made a presentation as well. On Monday, October the 13th, I attended the Compton College groundbreaking ceremony for the new physical education and visual and performing arts complexes. The event took place in the quad just north of the construction area for these projects. This is one of the several construction projects at the college in 2025, which also included the groundbreaking for the new student housing facility earlier this year. That was a wonderful event, and I am so happy to see Compton College moving along with this progress. Congratulations to the Compton Unified School District. Yesterday, Channel 4 NBC Los Angeles covered a story about Manuel Dominguez High School and the Compton Early College receiving new rankings in the U.S. News and World Report. Schools are ranked based on their performance on state-required tests, graduation rates, and the effectiveness of their college preparation program. Compton Early College High School is ranked 499 in the national ranking, number 67 in California high schools, number 25 in Los Angeles, California metro area high schools, and number 1 in the Compton Unified High School District. I repeat, number 1 in the Compton Unified School District in the high schools. Please, I'm asking the residents to please call Republic for any bulky waste items that you'd like picked up. That number is 800-299-4898. You must call them 48 hours in advance to schedule a pickup. And I would hope that our residents adhere to this for all the bulky waste items. Now, I have personally observed a man pull up his vehicle on Murr Street, just east of Santa Fe, and take off items and place them on the curb. And of course, naturally, I'm sure he's not a Compton resident. And so we need to look out for those things. I wasn't able to take a picture of the license plate, but if possible, please take pictures and report it to the authorities. Also on Saturday, I forgot to mention that I attended the Poinsettia Avenue Block Club meeting. And to piggyback on Councilwoman Duhart's announcement regarding our Mayor Emma Sharif will be our guest speaker this Sunday at the First United Church. And this is the Laity Sunday. Laity Sunday is a special observance in many Christian denominations, particularly within the United Methodist Church, designed to celebrate and recognize the contribution of lay people in the church and the broader community. Laity Sunday serves as a reminder of these essential roles that lay people play in the church and encourages all members to engage actively in their faith communities. It highlights the idea that ministry is a shared responsibility extending beyond the clergy to include every member of the church. Thank you, Madam Mayor. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you. On Thursday, September 25th, I joined Lieutenant Governor Eleni. I'm not going to even try to pronounce Eleni's name, and Gateway City's leaders for a roundtable discussion on immigration issues impacting our region. With the recent ICE and CBP activity affecting families, small businesses, and local resources, we came together to advocate for state support, expanding mental health services, and clear enforcement measures to protect our communities. Compton stands united with neighboring cities to ensure our residents feel safe, supported, and seen. On October 8th to the 9th, I attended the California League of California Cities, where I joined local elected officials from across the state to participate in workshops focused on improving city services and strengthening our communities. On Friday, October the 10th, I attended the SEIU 2015 Hispanic Heritage Celebration, a beautiful evening filled with cultural performances, food, and music that showcased the diversity and strength of our union. And on Saturday, October the 11th, my office, in collaboration with pastors of Compton, hosted our monthly Compton Clergy Council meeting. It was a strong turnout, and I want to thank Bishop Withers and United Christian Fellowship Church for their hospitality. This meeting allowed clergy leaders to meet the new Compton sheriff and also to hear from our Congresswoman Maxine Waters and learn more about the importance of Proposition 50. Also, on October the 11th, I attended the Compton 125 Society Speaker Series at Gonzalez Park. The event highlighted 3 talented, not just comic book artists. They're not just comic book artists. These are Black comic books that they are actually have been writing and doing it for some years. And Jamal Anasi, Ray Anthony Height, and Marcus Newman, who were making their mark in this industry. Later that day, I attended the South Poinsettia Block Club, a meeting where residents came together to share concerns and discuss community solutions. Upcoming events at the end of this month, the City of Compton, in partnership with the Restoration Diversion Services, will relaunch the Compton Human Trafficking Task Force. This important effort will bring together the City Council, community stakeholders, advocates, and law enforcement and residents to strengthen our collective fight against human trafficking. The launch meeting will take place on Wednesday, October the 29th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Dollar High Community Center. This is an RSVP-only event. To secure your spot, please see the flyer in the lobby or contact Deidre Handy at 310-971-8367. In closing, I want to thank you for your continued dedication to the City of Compton. Let's keep lifting each other up, staying engaged, and working together toward a stronger community. Wishing you all a safe and peaceful evening. We'll see you next Tuesday. Madam City Clerk.
Madam Mayor, you
roll call.
Now adjourn.
Roll call. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Roll call, Madam City Clerk.
Thank you. Member Duhart?
Yes.
Member Spicer?
Yes.
Member Bowers?
Yes.
Member Darden?
Yes.
And Mayor Sharif?
Yes.
Madam Mayor, you are now adjourned at 7:40 p.m.